Fast Hack Finds Love by Fast Hack. On a beautiful summer's day in Equestria, Fast Hack is flying around. Then he sees the beautiful yellow mare Fluttershy. Fast lands by her and says,
"Hi, my name is Fast Hack. What's yours?"
Fluttershy says,
My name's Fluttershy.
Then Fast asks her to go and have some lunch with him. She agrees, and they go to one of the outside cafes and eat lunch. They talk about everything until the place closed. Then they went their separate ways. The next day, Fast is sleeping, and there is a knock on the door. He gets up to answer it. It's Fluttershy.
Wanna go for a walk around his house in Ponyville?
She asks. Fast answers,
"Sure."
So he walks out of his house and shuts the door and walks off.
Where are you from?
Fluttershy asks.
"I'm from Manhattan and I moved to Ponyville a few months ago."
So they walked to Sugar Cube Corner for a snack. Fast holds the door open for Fluttershy. When the walk in, they both order some cupcakes and something to drink, and they sit down and talk.
Why did you move from Manhattan to Ponyville?
Fluttershy asks.
"Well, I just got bored of the city and wanted to live in a more rural part of Equestria."
He answers. They finish their snacks and go outside and continue their walk.
It's getting kinda late. I think I'm gonna go home.
Says Fluttershy.
"I'll walk you home if you want."
Says Fast.
Okay.
Fluttershy says. So they get to Fluttershy's house and they say their goodnights, and Fluttershy leans and kisses him on his cheek.
"What was that for?"
Asks Fast.
That's for a really good time today. I really enjoyed it.
Says Fluttershy. So she goes in her house. Fast is walking home talking to himself.
"Why did you kiss me?"
Does she like me? When he gets home, he can't stop thinking about that kiss, and he wondered if she liked him. He thought maybe I'll ask her tomorrow if she likes me. Fast lays down and tries to go to sleep, but he can't, because he can't stop thinking about that kiss. So he lies there till about 5 in the morning, and he falls asleep. Then he wakes to a big bang sound. He gets up and looks out the window. The Derpy smashed into the window to give him the mail. Then Derpy said,
I just don't know what went wrong.
Then Fast found a letter from Fluttershy, so he opened it and started to read it. It says, I really like you, and I want to be your girlfriend. I just didn't have the courage to tell you, 'cause I'm really shy. Later that day, Fast went to Fluttershy's house, and he told her that he likes her too, and that he wants to be her boyfriend. That night, they went on a date, and they stayed out all night, and Fast spent the night at Fluttershy's house. The next day, Fast and Fluttershy walk around Ponyville for hours. Then Fluttershy spent the night at Fast's house. Then they went to Sugar Cube Corner and had some lunch. Fluttershy goes to the bathroom, and then Fast calls Pinkie over to the table, and he tells her that he is going to ask her to marry him. Pinkie says,
I think that is a really good idea, and I want to plan the reception party, because every pony knows I'm the best at parties.
Fast says,
"I was going to ask you that anyway. Don't tell Fluttershy about this, okay?"
Then Pinkie says,
Okie dokie Loki.
Then she goes back behind the counter to get back to work. Then Fluttershy comes back, and they sit and stare into each other's eyes. That night, Fast can't sleep, so he goes to Twilight and asks her to plan the wedding. Twilight agrees, and she promised not to tell Fluttershy. Then he makes a trip to Rarity's and talks her into making a wedding dress and tux for the both of them. Rarity had to make the same promise not to tell Fluttershy. Then he knew that he needed a flower girl, so he finds Applejack and asks her to be the flower girl, and she agreed. Then he asks Big Macintosh to be the best man, and he agreed. Then he needed to find the perfect place, so he sends a letter to Princess Celestia to ask if he can use the Canterlot Castle. Fast and Fluttershy have been dating for 3 years now, and Fast gets the idea that he wants to marry her. So later that night, he makes a trot over to her house, and he knocks on the door, and she answers the door, and Fast asks,
Fluttershy, will you marry me?
It takes her a minuet. She starts to cry, and among the crying, she says,
Yes!
The next day, Derpy is knocking on Fast's door. He opens the letter and begins to read it.
Dear Fast Hack, you are free to use the royal castle for your wedding, and if you need any help, ask my faithful student Twilight Sparkle, sincerely Princess Celestia.
The next week, the Canterlot Castle is filled with friends of Fluttershy and Fast, and the wedding goes of perfectly. Rarity made the dress for Fluttershy and the tux for Fast. Then, at the end of the ceremony, Rainbow Dash does a sonic boom, and Fast and Fluttershy kiss under the rainbow explosion. After 10 months, Fast and Fluttershy have 2 kids. One has the body of Fluttershy and the mane of Fast, the other has the body of Fast and the mane of Fluttershy. The next day, people are stopping by their house to bring them presents and congratulate them. After the wedding, they decided to move in Fluttershy's house. Later that week, they decided they wanted to go out for dinner, but they needed a babysitter, so they asked Twilight, and she said yes, and they went for dinner, and they had a great time, and they went to get their children, and Twilight said they were really good kids. The end.